Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to today's digital marketing podcast and video where we talk about strategies and tactics to help grow your business. Today, we're going to talk about the secret formula to building a powerful podcast network through YouTube and Spotify's new capability of sharing to Snapchat along with Instagram stories and LinkedIn. So there's some pretty exciting things that are happening in the digital realm today. TechCrunch released pretty exciting news about Spotify's recent acquisition. And we're going to dive into that in a minute and really talk about how that can help really amplify and help you build a powerful podcast network. Well, let's start with what YouTube is offering brands right now when it comes to building a podcast network. You know, most businesses don't think about YouTube and its connection with podcasts. I know for us in this particular show, you know, we have kind of a unique situation where, you know, the podcast is actually being recorded simultaneously along with the Facebook live feed that we do every day when we produce the shows. So, you know, our show is a little bit unique in that the video provides the base for the audio, which is the podcast. And then, you know, we download the video straight from Facebook, upload that into YouTube. But here's the difference, you know, so for other brands, and we're starting to do this as well, is take the long form. So, you know, having a long form channel for your YouTube channel is a really smart play. It doesn't seem like people would be interested in watching a 30-minute episode or a 3-hour episode or a 6-hour episode, but it is absolutely a content form that people are watching, especially for fanatics. You know, when you are in a very niche segment, having a long form video is something that, you know, people will watch. Why? Because we binge our faces off when it comes to content that we love. So brands need to be aware of people are fascinated with how you make the sausage. They don't care that it's not some polished, you know, George Lucas 3-hour mini series. They don't care. You know, it's just that's the world we live in. We're fascinated by behind the scenes stories and diving deeper into the characters. I mean, look at Big Brother and how they have a live 24-hour stream feed of what's happening behind the show. So having a long form channel on your YouTube channel is a great idea. But then here's the part that a lot of people don't realize, or they do the opposite and they only do the second part, which is have the clips, right? So take the 3 minutes or the 5 minutes, you know, take out the little highlight sections of your longer format and then have that as a completely separate channel. Because here's the thing. So, you know, trying to create playlists, a lot of people have tried to do that where they take the long form show, they create a playlist, you know, then they segment out the clips within, you know, the playlist or create a separate playlist called highlights. The problem is that, you know, you don't get the notifications necessarily, especially if you know, you're just trying to get, you know, the nuggets and you don't care about the long form. You know, that's why you want to create that second channel. But you as a producer, as a publisher, understand that, okay, we've got our main YouTube channel that has the long form. You know, maybe you're a radio show host and so record the full length video, but then just take out the sound bites or the clips, right? And then have a separate channel that's nothing but those little clips. And so maybe those clips are 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you know, they're the short, you know, really the headlines, if you will. So when you do that, you allow your subscribers to be able to look at that. I know for myself, you know, one of the things I do right now, I love fantasy football. I love watching the video segments as, they talk about the different, plays, whether it's DFS or year long, and some of these shows are like an hour long. Some of them are, the quick hitter, here's the headlines. So I subscribe to those. And when I turn on my TV, I go to YouTube, it's got my recommendations and my subscriptions, and I can quickly go to those and watch those. I can do it on my phone. I can do it on my TV. It really makes that content accessible to that. So, the other thing that you want to make sure is that in the description, whether you're in the long form segmented channel or whether you're in your highlights segmented channel, make sure in the description box you have the link to your Apple podcast, to your Spotify channel, to Anchor FM, put those links to those podcast platforms so that you're trying to reduce the friction between your end audience and consumer and getting access to your content. You want to remove any friction, any barriers, make it easy for them to get it the way they want it on the channel that they want it, right? So long form, short form, video content built around YouTube and then segmented out with links for direct to the Apple podcast as well as to Spotify and some of the other platforms. So that's how you're going to build your podcast network through YouTube. Now, here's the second thing that I want to talk about. So I mentioned before at the beginning of the show that Spotify this week announced that they bought Sound Better. Now, what's interesting about this acquisition is this. So Sound Better, think about if you're familiar with Fiverr, where artists can, create visuals or graphics. And it's like a marketplace where, okay, I want to buy, a graphic or a short video or some piece of creative. And then there's this marketplace where I can go and look at profiles of artists who've created this. So Sound Better is basically that same kind of marketplace between artists and producers. And so Spotify announced that they acquired that platform with its 180 million artists and users and producers. And right now the revenue stream for that is roughly about $1 million per month in revenue generated in commissions for Sound Better. So, again, think about in the Fiverr environment, the percentage, whether it's 15% or 20% or whatever the commission is for the platform, that's what Sound Better has. And that was the piece of technology that Spotify wants, because Spotify wants to be the Netflix of audio. That's its goal, right? So, yes, they have, all of their subscribers. They've got their free subscribers. They have their premium content subscribers. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what they're trying to get away from is having to pay the big three labels the royalty fees to be able to play the popular music that everybody wants to hear. So that's why they're emphasizing, original content from podcasts, original music from Sound Better. So they're trying to build this infrastructure inside of their application and change their fundamental business model, because it really offers something unique as we continue to move into the gig economy. As in 2020, we know that 46% of the workforce will be powered by individuals who are leveraging their talents, abilities, and assets to produce revenue. So Spotify, with this move, is leveraging itself to kind of get in the game of artists, musicians who are looking for, opportunities to meet and create revenue opportunities with producers. So this is really smart. It's providing a revenue stream for Spotify, and it's also providing artists with, again, expanded visibility, also revenue opportunity, and also gaining insight and analytics into who is listening to and or searching for the type of music that they produce. So I think this is really a win-win for artists. It's a win-win for Spotify. Now to the exciting part. So if you, like for us, the way we do this is This video again is being simultaneously recorded through Anchor FM, and then on Anchor FM, when we're done, we literally click a button and boom, it instantly goes out to Apple, iTunes, it goes to Spotify, and about 9 or 10 other platforms. So boom, it's automatically pushed out. So, you know, the benefit now is when I go to Spotify, if I pull it up on my phone, what's really cool is, first of all, if you just search for Digital Marketing Podcast on Spotify, we're so excited and really humble to find that we're usually somewhere between the top 3, 4, 5 shows in that category. And thank you to the listeners for, you know, tuning in each and every day as we try to provide you with the best, really free advice on how to grow your business, how to leverage digital marketing tactics and strategies, the same ideas and strategies and tactics we use to help our clients win, and at the end of the day, garner the most attention and leverage underpriced, you know, platforms. I mean, that's what we try to do day in and day out. So when you search Spotify for digital marketing and you're in podcast, you know, you're going to find us. So when you find your podcast and you click on it, you then have the ability, you just literally type on the hit episode, hit the 3 dots, hit share. But now, as of this week, you can actually hit Snapchat and you can decide if you want to send it directly to someone or if you want to, you know, put it on your story. So I think that ability in you know, Spotify making it more user friendly and having the ability to share your podcast directly to its platform and to its users is huge, because we know that that platform is gaining users daily and there's a lot of activity there. Now, don't forget that, you know, you've had the ability to share your Spotify podcast from Spotify to Instagram stories, as well as now getting to LinkedIn is a little bit different because you can't just, it's not an icon that's right in the you know, options there. So you need to click on more, which will then really open up your native sharing apps and allow you to get straight to your LinkedIn platform. And we all know, I mean, we've talked about this on the show many times, that, you know, organic LinkedIn content right now is absolutely like a time machine back to 2011 when we were on Facebook and we read everything. You know, like the timeline of our Facebook 8 years ago was the center of our lives. I mean, we spent just an ungodly amount of time and carefully, I mean, we were scrolling and it was like, you know, we're in like a time warp. We're like, whoa, look at that. Like we were mesmerized by the timeline in 2011 on Facebook. And that's what's happening on LinkedIn with your organic content. So having the ability to share your podcast from Spotify directly to Snapchat, Instagram stories, and LinkedIn right now is probably one of the, that tactic is really part of an overall strategy of how to build a powerful podcast network. Because right now, passive content consumption, media consumption, is number one when it comes to you know, what we do in our spare time, whether we're working out, you know, or walking or cleaning house. You know, we're like, hey, smart speaker device, Amazon or Google, whatever, you know, play Digital Marketing Podcast by Digital Ops, and boom, you know, we can listen to it hands-free. You know, we can continue on with what we're doing. So these are the things that, as a brand, if you're looking to grow your digital brand reach and really create a powerful podcast network, these are things that you need to think about. You need to leverage segmented YouTube channels, long form, short form. You need to make sure that you understand how to syndicate from, you know, like whether it's SoundCloud or Anchor FM, and be able to syndicate to these other podcast platforms, and get your content to Spotify, because they are aggressively growing their platform to help businesses, musicians, producers, content creators get better analytics, create revenue opportunities. So that platform is really, really, I mean, people say, what's next? I'm telling you what's next. What's next is grow your podcast network, leverage these strategies and tactics to help grow your brand reach in a time, in an era where the internet wins, and anything that is built on top of this, our mobile devices, is going to win. So those are my tips and strategies for today. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. As always, I am Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you guys have a great week and tune in tomorrow.